Valkyries used to be one of the worst troops in Clash of Clans, but due to their recent HP buff, they have become way better. We're focusing on them here at Town Hall 13, but this can be used for both non-max and maxed out players. One of the more relevant ways of using it is against a CWL mismatch or hitting up a Town Hall 14 for 2 stars, which surprised me, especially from our attacker Tark here from VHS, my clan, which you guys can join my Discord server to join it. But he is using a Falcon, using Valkyries and Bowlers, but he only has level 7 Valkyries, which is Town Hall 12 Valkyries. You'd think they get shredded, but they don't. You mainly want to look for an easy way to move into the Town Hall and get out. So in this case, the attacker decides on using a Flame Flinger. This removes an entire compartment from the base, so now he doesn't even need to worry about it. You just need to really worry about the Expo, since any air and ground or ground Expo will be able to outrange it. So keep that in mind. Now on the other side, you can bring in the use of either a Grand Warden Walk or the Queen Walk. You have 2 different choices. I would highly recommend the Grand Warden Walk. It's far better, so set what you're doing down and go focus on your Warden. But alongside that, you can use a Queen Walk, which is still very effective. If you notice his hero levels, they're not maxed out completely against a max Town Hall 14. So this can work if you have some lower level heroes. You've got a wide funnel set, so everything works themselves into the base. You don't want everything to go onto the outside. So use a rage spell to get your Valkyries in to push through, and a jump spell to get them into the next following compartments. They can split out, it really depends, but you mainly want your queen to go in. That's why I recommend the Grand Warden Walk. Use a Grand Warden ability in the core, and that will allow your Valkyries to get through. Of course, they are going to die from the poison, since the Town Hall 14 bomb and poison is just so strong. In this case, it is really easy to get a ton of percentage from just the funnel and also the Valkyries alone, to where you can get up to around 70% with this, which just goes to show how strong level 7 Valkyries are, even against a Town Hall 14 that is maxed out. So if you are looking for an army that can work pretty well against, at least against non-ring bases or, non-teaser bases, this is going to work incredibly well for you. Now, on the subject of a Town Hall 13, this can work pretty well on different bases. You are going to be funneling with the Flame Flinger, and it's one of the best siege machines, so that is why I've always chosen it for Valkyrie attacks. On the other side, I'm using a Grand Warden Walk. If you are going up against the enemy king with the Flame Flinger, use either your king or some headhunters to help mediate that. You do need to be very careful. You do want to make sure that what you're doing is setting up a very solid funnel. In this case, I'm going to send my queen in to remove these buildings so the Valkyries focus on getting into the base. The Eagle Artillery is by far the most important thing to remove. If you don't remove it, the Valkyries are going to die. So make sure you go to the Eagle first. The Rage Spell and the Grand Warden ability, they push through, they clear through some compartments, and I use a jump spell to get them into the core. Then look at how easy they just shred the core of the base. It's absolutely insane how easy it is for them as they work themselves around. And they get aggroed from the enemy hero, so try to take advantage of that if you can. They definitely love their heroes or their skeletons, so try to use them to your advantage. But you can always send in your Royal Champion at any given point. Just try to hold her. I only have a level 10, and she does some pretty good work, so keep in mind that a level 10 is not really that strong, but it can be really effective. But it just goes to show how strong Valkyries are right now in the game. Of course, we still want to show you a base that is fairly designed alright. In this example here, the attacker uses a Siege Barrack instead of the Flame Flinger. It really depends on the base. The Flame Flinger is good when there are bigger compartments and compartments that you really can't remove entirely with a Siege Barrack. But in this case, since all the buildings are relatively easy to remove, a Siege Barrack is actually the best option to funnel some of the Sneaky Goblins and of course the Queen Walk to easily move your queen down. You don't even need a lot of super troops for this. If you just boost Sneaky Goblins, that's all you need. You can bring regular wall breakers. You don't need super wall breakers like I usually boost. But as you move in, use your Valkyries and Boulders. You should have a very easy time moving in. an early rage to make sure you have everything moving through, and that will allow you to get through the core really easily. Make sure you deal with the enemy CC. Of course, it is going to be a nuisance, but using the heal and the rage spells alongside the Hog Riders on one side and the Royal Champion on the other, you can easily clear through bases and absolutely get to the Town Hall. While the Town Hall is not maxed out and it doesn't have the max Giga Poison, that really doesn't matter considering this works really well. I showed you earlier that it works against a Max Town Hall 14. So getting a 74% again with this army really proves just how powerful Valkyries are in the current game, which is why I highly recommend using them if bases are more in compartments rather than a ring base or a teaser base, because Valkyries will not be able to get through a teaser base. Trust me. They'll probably go for the heroes and end up dying anyways. But just make sure you create a very wide funnel. That'll easily get you the 3-star. I also did one with the level 8 Valkyries just to prove how strong it is, and of course I did boost my heroes. But using a Flame Flinger to remove this one big compartment, and then using the Grand Warden Walk on the other side. I used Sneaky Goblins to try and speed up that Warden Walk, but the main idea here was to create a very wide funnel. Now keep in mind as well, I only had one rage spell for the Valkyries, so usually you don't really want to send in the rage spell with your Grand Warden, but if you need to keep him alive to prevent that Warden ability from going off, that's something that you should do. Trust me, I've had plenty of fails like that. It absolutely sucks, so make sure that you're able to do so. But in this case, I had the Valkyries easily work themselves in, and using a jump spell to get them into the Eagle Artillery. And thanks to the Queen aggro, it helped a lot, and it allowed me to use a jump to get into the Town Hall compartment with the bowlers. Yes, I'm using a Falcon, but this just goes to show how absolutely overpowering this army is. A heal spell to keep the Valkyries healed up, and even the Valkyries that had the healers were just shredding through stuff, and they worked so well with them. I didn't even know how I was going to get through this base, and I had the Flame Flinger still up using the Hog Riders, and I just had everything working through. I didn't think I was going to get a 3-star with this, but with the amount of Valkyries and the Hog Riders, and even the Queen with her ability I absolutely breezed through this. Of course, there were no CCs in either of my attacks, but the chances are I would have had to use a poison anyways, and that would have stopped it. I even had a free spell to help deal with the CC as well. So in case it was an E-drag or anything, it would have been really easy to remove. Now, if you are still stuck on what to use at Town Hall 13 outside of Valkyries, consider checking out my top 3 video. It's still relevant, alongside my previous video all over the free troops. So if you kind of missed that sneak peek or not sure what's going on, make sure you guys check that video out. Consider subscribing, and I'll be catching you in the next video. Corrupt, signing out.